Have you ever really stopped to think about the ultimate purpose of life? Well, there's this extraordinary scripture, one of the most profound in human history, called the Vedras. And what makes it so special is that its teachings come directly from Bhagavan Sri Swaminarayan himself, laying out a clear path to what's known as Moksha, or ultimate liberation. What we're diving in today is all based on the fantastic research of Sachin Karnik, who shares these insights in his daily online satsangs. So let's get started on this journey into some truly incredible divine knowledge. Everything, and I mean everything, we're about to talk about really starts with this single, powerful idea you see right here. It is the absolute first step. I am not this body, the body is not mine. Now that might sound simple, but without truly getting this, the whole spiritual journey just can't begin. So let's really unpack what this means. All right, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to tackle that huge question, who are we really? Then we'll get into what exactly keeps us feeling stuck or trapped in life. After that, we'll look at the actual practices that lead to freedom. And finally, we'll explore the ultimate goal of this entire path. Okay, let's jump right into our first section. And this one tackles what is maybe the biggest question anyone can ask. Who am I, really? What's my true identity beyond all the surface-level stuff? According to the Vedras, our true self isn't our body, our personality, or even our thoughts. It's the Atma. You can think of the Atma as the pure, conscious, silent witness that's just experiencing everything. It's the seer behind your eyes. It's that part of you that is aware you're thinking, but it isn't the thoughts themselves. And here's the kicker. It's eternal and totally separate from this physical form we walk around in. And this is where it gets really interesting. Just look at the contrast on this slide. The Atma is conscious, eternal, pure, and it never changes. The body, on the other hand, is pretty much the total opposite. It's inert matter, it's temporary, and it's always changing. Realizing that you are the thing on the left, not the thing on the right, is the fundamental shift in perspective that changes absolutely everything. The scripture uses this beautiful metaphor to really drive the point home. The body is like a dewdrop on a leaf. Sure, it can be beautiful, but it's incredibly fragile and it's gone in a flash. The Atma, though, is like the sun. It's radiant, it's powerful, and it's everlasting. What a powerful way to visualize the difference between our temporary shell and our true eternal self. Okay, so if we are this pure, eternal Atma, why do we feel so much pain, anxiety, and just this feeling of being trapped sometimes? Well, that brings us right to our next section. We need to identify the roots of our bondage. The number one culprit is something called ahankara, or the ego. But we're not just talking about being arrogant. In this context, it's that deep, gut-level false belief that says, I am this body, and these things I have, they are mine. According to the Vedras, this one simple mistake, this misidentification with what's temporary, is the single root cause of all our suffering. Period. I just love this metaphor for explaining how the ego works. You know, the sun is always up there, always shining. But when a cloud floats by, it feels like the sun is gone. But it's not, of course. The Veda says our Atma is just like that sun, always present, always radiant. The ego is just a temporary cloud that's blocking the light. So our spiritual work is simply to let that cloud pass. The other huge obstacle is trishna. You can translate this as craving or this unquenchable thirst. It's that intense, restless desire for worldly pleasures, for stuff, for approval. It's described as a fire that can never really be put out, and it's this force that keeps the soul completely trapped. And the scripture gives us this image of a net. Think about it. A bird caught in a net can't fly. It doesn't matter how powerful its wings are. In exactly the same way, a soul that's caught in the net of its own cravings just can't soar towards its true nature or towards God. Our desires literally pin us down, making real freedom seem impossible. So, if the ego and our cravings are the problems, what's the solution? This brings us to the practice, the how-to part of the spiritual path. How do we actually do this? What's so interesting is that the path forward isn't just about intellectual knowledge. It requires a real shift from the head to the heart. The text says we need this unwavering affection, a deep, sincere love for God, who is called Purushottam, and for the saints who have realized him. It's this devotion that actually unlocks the divine grace we need to break free. And a major way to build that devotion is through satsang, which means associating with true realized saints. The idea here is that this is the main way to get a direct, personal realization of the self and of God. When you spend time with people who are already there, their wisdom and their spiritual energy just naturally help you along on your own journey. And listen, the stakes here are incredibly high, as you can see on this slide. On one hand, you embrace satsang and it leads to detachment, real inner peace, and finally self-realization. But abandoning it, well, the consequences are severe. It leads straight to misery and completely blocks the path to liberation. The choice and its results couldn't be more clear. Okay, so we've identified our true self, we've named our inner enemies, and we've got the tools to fight back. But where is all this actually going? What's the ultimate goal of this whole journey? Let's take a look at the final destination. The path to the ultimate goal is laid out in these 4 clear steps. It all starts with associating with a true guide, a realized saint. Through that connection, you start to realize your true self is the Atma. That realization then allows you to reach a whole new state of being called Brahmarup. And from that higher state, you can finally offer pure, true worship to the Supreme, Purushottam. It's a really logical progression. Now, you probably heard that term Brahmarup in the last step. To really get what that means, we first have to understand Akshar Brahma. Akshar Brahma is described as God's divine, eternal home. But here's the key. It's both a place where liberated souls live, and it's a state of being that you can achieve yourself. So to become Brahmarup means to achieve a state of being just like Akshar Brahma. It means you become eternally pure, and your whole purpose shifts to serving the highest reality, Purushottam. It's the ultimate destiny of the soul, this perfect combination of ultimate purity and selfless service. And at the very heart of this entire cosmic map is Purushottam, the supreme being. This is the highest reality, the one who resides within Akshar Brahma. So the liberated soul, once it becomes Brahmarup, finds its ultimate joy and purpose in worshipping Purushottam. It's the highest possible relationship between the creator and the soul. Wow, we have covered a lot of ground, from understanding who we are to where we're ultimately going. Let's pull it all together now and just quickly recap the main essence of this incredible path. So, what is the path to moksha in a nutshell? It really boils down to this. 1. Realize you are the eternal Atma, not this temporary body. 2. Work to get rid of the ego and worldly cravings. 3. Cultivate a deep, exclusive devotion for Purushottam. 4. Stay strong in the company of true saints. And finally, the ultimate goal, become Brahmarup and spend eternity in the joyful service of Purushottam. That, right there, is the essence of the Vedas. We've explored some incredibly deep teachings today, but it all leaves us with a very real, very practical question to think about. We know that identifying with the body, this ego, is the root of our suffering. So how do we actually start to move beyond it in our day-to-day lives? Maybe just thinking about that question is the first real step to living this wisdom.